Hi, I am Alisa Castillo, and I am a licensed Virginia real estate agent specializing in the Northern Virginia area. I also have my license in DC, working on Maryland. I'm with Realty One Group Capital, and thank you so much for joining me. I'm doing a from sale to sold home selling seminar with home selling secrets. If you're thinking of selling your home with a real estate agent or by yourself, I think you're going to get a lot of useful information today. So in the Northern Virginia, DC area, and actually nationwide, we really are in a low inventory situation. So right now we have about 1 month supply of home inventory. So that means that if all the homes keep selling as they are without any new homes coming on the market, we would not have any homes for sale in about a month. So we're definitely low inventory, which means a seller's market. Now, a seller's market is always anywhere between like 1 to 3 months of inventory. If we get up to like the 3 to 6 month inventory mark, we're looking at more of a stable market. Anything over 6 is a buyer's market, but we have been in a seller's market for quite some time. So for buyers out there that are looking to buy right now, they a lot of times are dealing with a multi-offer situation on the property. So it really is an advantage to the sellers right now. Thought it would be great to do this seminar for the sellers. Since there's always home buyers seminars, I figured we'd work specifically for sellers today, give you some tips if you're thinking of doing it by yourself or working with an agent. You'll get some useful information out of this. And I will start by sharing my screen so I can go over some of the home selling facts that I like to go over with my presentation that I would use on a listing appointment. Okay, so really important. If you're thinking about using an agent, you want to interview some agents. That's your step one. Or a lot of times, someone will say, "Oh, my cousin got their license," or my neighbor's daughter. That's fine, but you want to make sure you meet with at least 1 or 2 agents. Ask them questions that are important to you, and go with who you're comfortable is going to do the best job for you. Okay, that's very, very important. You want to make sure that you are represented in the best way possible. The thing I always ask my sellers on a first appointment is, what are your goals? What is your final goal? What do you want to get out of this? Do you need to move somewhere? Are you downsizing? Are you upsizing? Are you moving out of state? Are you in a financial crisis? Are you getting a divorce? Like, there are so many scenarios that I've worked with and that agents work with. So it's really important that we know everything that is going to be the most important to your personal situation, and to make sure we're comfortable with being able to get you to that goal that you want, and being realistic with you. If it's a goal that's never going to happen, I will be honest with you. But if it's something that can be done, then we will continue and we work together. So one of the other really big questions I get from home sellers is, how do I know how much my house is worth? So more than not, sellers will have a totally different vision about how much they think their home is worth. And I get it. You've put, time and money into this house. Maybe you raised a family here. There's emotional attachments to the home, and you think your home is the best on the block, just like we think our kids are the best than everyone else. It's normal. But as a guide, and as your experienced consultant, I'm going to go over with you realistic pricing and realistic pricing strategies. And I do that by comparing your home with other homes that have sold that are the same size, similar bedrooms, similar lot size, similar quality of the home and condition. All of these are very important factors when we're talking about pricing, a pricing strategy. Also, if we are moving forward, we're going to talk about paperwork and what a listing contract is, and the exclusive listing agreement. You're giving the agent the exclusive agreement to represent you and your best interests as the home seller. And in that will be all, the detailed information of the timing and what to expect, and will there be a sign on the property? Are you going to allow a lockbox? Can we advertise it online? So there'll be a lot of different items to go over. Then we're going to talk about the marketing of the home and the coming soon portion of it. Coming soon is a fun pre-marketing stage in the home selling process, where you kind of get some traction and excitement for the home before it actually becomes live for sale on the market. Other steps is preparing the house to list. So I'm going to go over all of these more in detail as we move forward. Imagery, marketing, showings, receiving an offer, negotiations, inspections and appraisals, repairs, and the closing. I made this roadmap into 10 steps to make things easy for you to see. So determining factors of the home pricing. How does it show? Like, what's the condition of it? I always talk about that. Does it need repairs? Does it need decluttering? What does, the front of the house look like? There's many, many different factors. Some people will say, I don't want to do anything. I just want to sell it as is. And that's fine. If you want to sell it as is, you have to price it as is. If you want it to sell for top dollar, then we have to talk about some different factors to get your home in top dollar shape if it's not. Okay. And that is a lot of times coming down to the staging of the property. Staged homes spend 90% less time on the market. That is just a percentage. That is a fact. And staged homes get an average of 5% more. That's also a fact. So with my services, I do offer staging consultations. I have my own staging storage unit. I could a lot of times help stage the home for you myself if it's a bigger home, or if it needs more work, or if it's a luxury property. Sometimes we have to bring in professional stagers, and I work with a lot of amazing stagers in the area. But it really does set the tone for selling that home quicker. You're curating a space for when buyers come in, they are wowed. They want to buy. If you've ever walked into a fancy boutique, everything in that boutique has been curated for you to want to buy something. And that is what we're going to do with your property. Of course, we're going to have photography. If you're thinking of selling your home on your own as well, don't do iPhone pictures or video. You want to hire a professional to do this. You want the home showing in the best possible light as possible. Okay. That's same goes for video. Okay. Everyone shops online for homes now. You have to have photos and video. Depending on the home, drone photography, drone video can really add a big benefit and just add to the desirability of the property and truly make it a whole experience. Sometimes with a designated website just for the property alone to bring traffic to see your home. And starting off with that, dramatic drone footage really does pack a punch. So a lot of times I do recommend drone footage. Of course, we're going to have property brochures. I always do the best quality brochures of property as well as postcards to get the most attraction to the home. Marketing of the home is so very, very important. Now, I really do want to emphasize this part. This is the mom in me. I like to keep you and your valuables super safe. So this will be some great home selling tips for the first time for the for sale by owner here as well, because a lot of times they don't know these things. So this is what I would do as your real estate agent. there'd be a secure lockbox. So no one's allowed to access the property unless they are a real estate agent belonging to the Realtors Association and has access to this lockbox. And if you don't have the lockbox on there, then you're going to definitely don't put a combo box on to just let anyone come in and out, especially if you're doing it by yourself. I always tell my clients to stow away your valuables. When I first got in the business, I was still a little naive, and I did have a buyer steal someone's very valuable jewelry. They had very expensive jewelry on their night table. Maybe they forgot or their agent didn't tell them, but unfortunately that stuff was stolen by someone I had taken through the home. They had, walked ahead of me, and I didn't realize it until I got a call the next day. So I am very vigilant. I always tell my clients, if you have expensive jewelry and valuables, during the listing process of the home, when your home's going to be sold, put them in your safety deposit box, or get a safety deposit box or a safe. Put that stuff away. That includes firearms. You want to be super careful with that. Don't allow anyone without an appointment. If they don't have an appointment, if they don't have a card that you can check on who they are, or, if the home's for sale with an agent and someone just comes up to the door and wants to see the house, even if they say I'm an investor with all cash, don't let anyone in the home that you don't know. You want to make sure that they're vetted. You want to make sure these people are pre-approved and, real buyers coming in and out of your house. Unfortunately, you have to think about the prescription drugs and medication. It is an epidemic also. You hear it on the news where people will just be scouting open houses looking for drugs in people's medicine cabinets. It's sad, but true. Just be vigilant. Same with your personal mail. You do not want anyone trying to steal your identity. You have to put that away as well. Lock the doors. Don't let anyone in. Just always keeping your home safe and having booties by the front door, hand sanitizer, all that is to keep the home nice and safe and clean as you have the home for sale and have strangers in and out of your house. Okay. So I think this is some pretty good home selling secrets if you're not working with an agent and you're thinking of doing it by yourself. Where do buyers find homes? On the internet, mostly 50% mostly on the internet. But, I feel like when you say internet and real estate agent, it's pretty much the same thing. The agents showing them the home through an internet website. All the clients that I work with will be seen on all platforms possible. Zillow, trulyrealtor.com, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. I have strong followings on the social media platforms, and I also like to do ads to boost the exposure of the property. After listing your home, you want to make sure that you're doing all of these different steps with, being flexible on accommodating the schedules to show the house. Sometimes that could be difficult when you don't have an agent or a lockbox, but if you're trying to do it yourself, maybe set aside 2 hours on the weekend where you can just show the home and be done with it for the rest of the week. Want to keep it clean, freshly smelling. I say put your furry friends in, doggy daycare or pet daycare over at a friend or family's house when you're showing the property. Open the blinds, bring in the natural light. Make sure the trash is all cleaned out. Keep the house comfortable no matter what time of season, not too hot, not too cold. Put those personal items away. And if you have an agent, leave the property. You don't need to be there for the showings. That's if you have an agent. If you're selling it yourself, you definitely make sure you want to be there. But if you have an agent, there's no reason to be there. They're professional and they'll take care of it for you. So once we start getting into offers, you get into all of the nitty-gritty of the negotiation process. This is where it really does benefit you to have a professional on your side, negotiating on your behalf. Okay. it's important to know about contingencies. So what's a contingency? A contingency is, I want to place an offer on your home, but I have to sell my other house first. A contingency could be, I'm placing an offer on your home, but I want to have a home inspection. And, then I want this, this, and this. A contingency can be, I want to buy your house, but it's contingent on my financing. If I don't get approved, I'm not buying it. So there's a lot of different factors, and you really want to be educated and informed on that to make sure that you're making the right decision with the right buyer. Now, every now and then a deal can fall through. We don't like when that happens, but as long as you are being represented with a quality agent, or you feel confident doing it yourself, then it shouldn't be too hard to get another buyer in there right away. All of this stuff here is really, personal, what's important to the seller. Obviously, we all want a cash buyer, but if you don't have a cash buyer, if someone's strongly pre-approved, that's a very, very strong selling point. I always vet the buyers and check in with their lenders. They should all have a pre-approval from a lender before they even see the home. But the pre-approval letter should be with the offer each and every time, and follow up with their lender as well to make sure that they have the financial wherewithal to make this loan go through. There's different types of loan types out there. We have FHA, VA, conventional, jumbo loans, or there's all kinds, and it'll really just depend on everyone's situation and your home situation as well. The closing timeline, do you want it to close right away? Do you need extra time in the house? Lease backs are kind of common these days when the home seller needs to live in the house maybe an additional time after it closes. That can be negotiated. Or if you want out as quickly as possible, you want a quick closing, all that can all be negotiated. Are you going to pay closing costs to the buyer? We don't see that too much, but sometimes that could be an option, and that could all be discussed and negotiated. Sometimes the buyers send in a letter, a nice home love letter of why they want your home, and sometimes it speaks to the sellers, sometimes it doesn't. Do you want to do repairs, or do you just want a home sold as is? Do you just want to offer maybe a kind of a concession on home repair? Lots of different things to go over. And once you get to that sweet spot and it's negotiated on each side, you'll have a ratified contract and your home will be in escrow. When someone has a inspection contingency and they bring in a home inspector, the seller doesn't pay for that. The buyer pays for that. The buyer pays for the inspection. The buyer pays for the appraisal. You can talk about, negotiating some repairs that come in afterwards, or it could just be for informational purposes. Or the buyer can cancel the contract if there was a home inspection contingency. So there's, different scenarios that can come up, and it just depends on everyone's situation. Home appraisal, if they're getting a loan, they're definitely getting a home appraisal. This is where it ties into pricing the home correctly. You really don't want to overprice it too much. And even if you get an offer at that price, sometimes if it has the appraisal contingency, you're going to have to renegotiate the price anyway. So if the buyer doesn't have the extra money. So I would just price it correctly the first time, and you don't have to deal with any of the drama later. What you're paying for. So, the seller, you're going to pay for your mortgage balance and penalties if you have any claims against your property. You cannot close unless claims are all satisfied. Unpaid assessments, or commissions to your real estate agent, that all happens right at closing. Title insurance policy, and sometimes you'll do a home warranty. When you are going to closing, you need your, government ID. You want to hand over the keys, garage door openers, mailbox keys, any spare keys that they might have. And then of course, after closing, you're going to get an email sent with all your documents. You don't need to keep paper documents, but you want to make sure you keep those safe and handy as well. So your home is sold, and I really hope that you did get some tidbits and some valuable information today. I'm going to try to do a home selling seminar once a month with additional home selling secrets. I can't give you everything in the first day, but there'll be more, and hopefully you'll join again, and we'll build a nice community where we can share information with different home sellers. And I'm here to answer any questions that anyone might have. In closing, I want to make sure that you remember to cancel your policies on your home, close out your utilities, make sure you change your address, you have your documents, and make sure you're clearing out all your personal belongings, and make sure the home is clean. You don't want to transfer your home to the new buyer and they move in and it's dirty. Clean the floors, clean the house, and lock it up. So congratulations. I hope you netted a good amount of money and you had great equity in your house. And I will be seeing you next time. Thanks for joining me.